We'll be, and by the way, when we get the body cams, we'll be stopping on every frame, looking through Nick's house, trying to find. Aaron claimed on his stream that cross-eyed wife complained to Aaron while cleaning up empty whiskey bottles all over the floor. So Nick is living a Mersh style, rolling around in bottles lifestyle. And yeah.
Double.
He is living a really horrific lifestyle, and she's like, I just can't do this anymore. And she's cleaning up after him. We're going to look through all of the footage. We're going to find every little bad thing that ever happened in their lives. April thought she could leave that behind by simply logging off. The internet has caught up to you, April. I think this is the first time we've seen her since she left in April. And for your first return back to be a mugshot, now you've learned the hard way. Okay.
Now you're the most public figure.
You don't. This is something people need to understand. You don't ever get to stop being public. Your photos, once uploaded, there's certain people that really need to learn this lesson. If you upload a photo and it's public forever. It doesn't matter what you do after that. You can delete it half of a second later. That's still up for grabs. It's not doxing. It's not. And I am saying this for two reasons. One, Comedy Shaman's been going through some stuff with somebody who seems to not understand these rules. But two, my introduction to Nick Rekieta is entirely tied to this woman right here. My whole beef with Nick and the reason he is now a character you know online is because I shared an image of his wife. I had the nerve. And by the way, and this is the craziest part, Scott, it was this image right here. The one you posted. Yeah. This is the first picture I ever saw of this woman. Let me tell you a tale, okay? Some of the henchmen who are here with us now, you were here for this, so feel free to chime in. Years and years ago, again, I think it was 2016, Nick Rekieta was nothing but a fan of Maddox. Note what I said there, all right? You thought I was going to say Dick Masterson. Nick Rekieta was one of the world's biggest Maddox fans. Now, if you know my history, Maddox Blatt. He was blasting to Maddox since he was 13. And of course, like, think about the type of guy Nick is. Of course he was. He's a guy who thinks he's really smart. He's a guy who thinks he's really clever. Not funny, clever. Okay? That's the type of guy that Maddox's articles would attract the most. And if you know anything about my history, I was not a Maddox fan. I was on Maddox's podcast network, but I had never read Maddox as a kid. It was nothing like that. Nick was a fan of Maddox, and when Maddox and Dick Masterson had their split, Nick had his divorced child moment, something that all 5 of his kids are about to go through. I have said forever now that the people who simp for these internet men are all the products of divorce. And I know it all too well because I've interacted with guys like Nick fucking Rekieta, which again, let's just take another look at him. Here we go. Okay. This guy, I believe his parents are together. They're rich. He's a trust fund baby, by the way. Like, legitimately, all of my enemies are trust fund babies except Mersh. Every single person who talks shit about Pod Awful had a trust fund.
How do you know Mersh isn't a trust fund baby?
Yeah, what evidence could possibly...
I actually take back what I said. Mersh is a trust fund baby.
Royce.
Because of Royce.
He's the hidden one.
Hang on. Greg is right. Because of Royce. Listen, just because he slept on the couch of Royce, he was still living off of Royce's dad's dime. Royce's dad bought Royce's house. Mersh lived in the house for free. trust fund baby. Okay. Royce is a trust fund baby, thus by the properties of exchange and cuckitude, he is a trust fund baby as well. So they all are. And they all accused of me through the biggest projection of all time. So Nick went through a bad divorce when Dick and Maddox split up. His parents aren't divorced. So he's an adult man. He's in his 30s and experiencing divorce for the first time. And it's making him go cuckoo, which you can now see. No one saw it but me back then because he was just some guy. He had no YouTube channel. He was just a small town strip mall lawyer. And Dick Masterson started a Facebook group to try to steal Maddox's fans, basically. And it worked. And that's his entire fan base to this day are just products of divorce from Maddox. Okay. Mommy left. Maddox is obviously mommy, despite the fact that Dick literally dresses up as a cow. So actually, I don't know. We're gonna have to really work through that metaphor at some point because a cow does give milk. I'm not sure who's the mommy in that one. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out eventually. Point is, it fucked Nick up. Nick went into this Facebook group and he sort of self-styled himself. In fact, Nick is sort of the original grifter drifter. Now, if you're not familiar with the term grifter drifter, these are the dysgenic freaks who attach themselves community to community, trying to make a name for themselves while having no product. Okay. Now, it's not bizarre to me if you've got a show and you try to spam your shit in somebody else's community. That's pretty normal, pretty typical stuff. All right. Trying to like make yourself, ingratiate yourself in a community. This is a guy who had no YouTube. And all of these people, it's Bex. Okay. It's Nat Clo. It's all of these freaks.
Jesse, buddy, drug possession is only drug possession if it's not true.
Well, we'll come back to that. So Shalyn, we had our own personal, we were the first for her, as far as I know, community grifter drifter. Shalyn, if you've ever heard of Discord's Shalyn, number one, I'm sorry. Number two, perfect example of what I'm talking about. What these people do is they just want to be known. They want a community online that will think they're cool because the internet, it's easier to shape your personality on there. And so he went into this Facebook group and he was like, I'm a lawyer. And everyone went, oh, lawyer, that's like a real guy job. He must be smart. And then I looked him up and I'm like, he's in a strip mall. He's Saul Goodman. I mean, he's a joke. He's a literal joke. This guy's not smart, but the whole community had decided that this was their smartest guy. But because I was on Maddox's network, when I made fun of him, everyone would be like, ha, you're an idiot. No one would believe me. Now the whole internet sees Nick Rekieta has never won a case. And I was saying that back then. I said, I don't know that he's even tried a case. I don't know that he has ever done any. He is a lawyer on paper and on paper only. And I believe his law firm is made of paper. I'm not so sure the strip mall even exists anymore. I think it blew away in the wind.
I almost guarantee it does not exist. Why would he even go there? He has no reason to go to a strip mall.
His law office had a giant inflatable gorilla on top. I mean, it was that type of place. That's not a joke.
Talk about eight.
So does Jesse respond to super chats? Yeah, send in 100 and I'll respond to all of them. So
Lenny responds to them.
I'll respond to him. I'll go, nah, nope. No, I will. We'll read it. We'll come back to super chats in a second. I'll make Lenny read them. So I'm making fun of this guy, Nick Rekieta, in this group because he, listen, one of the signatures of Pod Awful is I don't really hate these shows. Okay. I mean, I do. They stink. The shows we make fun of, the internet stuff we make fun of, it's not hate. It's fun to laugh at them. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate Nick. I don't hate Mersh. I certainly don't hate Aaron. I hate their fans. If these are the guys making a bad show, then who's the bad person? the fucking freaks who watch it. So
The enablers.
So
the audience are enabling this.
we make fun of the fans of shows. Okay? I do whole episodes about some guy, and I can't help it, but when I go into one of these groups, I will see the guys who are trying to be the coolest guy in the group of losers, and I'm just instantly drawn to making fun of them. Nick was that guy. He was the top guy in that. I mean, am I talking out of turn? The people who were there for this stuff? Is anything I'm
you're
saying
totally
crazy?
correct.
He like lorded over this group, you know, he held court in there and they all loved everything he said. No YouTube channel, no nothing. He was nobody, just a fan, just a pay pig of formerly of Maddox and then of Dick Masterson. And I don't even know how we got into a fight. I don't even know what it was about, but we got into some back and forth in there. And here's the problem. I'm on the internet, okay? I'm ape. I can't delete it. It's all there. You want to come make fun of the way I look? It's easy to do. I'm on camera every week. You want to come make fun of the way I talk? It's easy to do. I'm talking into a microphone every week. I tell you everything about me. When I fight with some nobody on, you know, Twitter or Facebook or whatever, it's an uneven match because you're anonymous, right? I got no problem with that, but I'm going to look for something. So, because the worst thing you can do in a fight online is make fun of a guy for something that ain't true about him. I have all these people who say, oh, Jesse's not really married. His wife, they're now trying to do my wife left me and all this stuff. Like, that doesn't hurt because it's not true. You got to find a new vector of attack. So I never want to make fun of a guy.
Make fun of his slopey eyes. Like,
yeah, exactly. You know? The fact that I look exactly like Gothic King Cobra. Like, it's obvious what to do here. That's what's going to hurt me. But why would you do that? It puts a pain in my tummy. I'm just a man. So it's not like I'm a fan of anything. You can't make fun of me. I'm not a fan of anything except Star Wars. So I made fun of Nick. I didn't have a vector of attack. He had one photo. It was him being like an old timey guy with a big mustache.